What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're looking at stories from r/slash TalesFromRetail. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell. And let's get straight into today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story is from 5512. This soil has been tampered with by terrorists. Obligatory on-mobile warning. Don't know why people need these, but saying this in case this shows up. Weird on your end, lol. A couple of years ago I worked in customer service at a big home improvement store. You know the one, it's very orange. I was working the customer service and returns desk alone on a slow day, doing my stuff, handling paperwork, when a couple came up to the returns desk with no product to return. They started immediately yelling at me about the white things and lumps in all the soil they'd bought. They'd bought upwards of 100 bags to take care of a large greenhouse. They had opened and used all 100 bags, so didn't have any to bring back to me. I had them show me the product in store. The white things and lumps were fertilizer pellets, ETA, also used to help with water drainage. So I explained to them, oh no worries, that's just fertilizer pellets. Instead of buying extra fertilizer, it's put right into the soil. That's why it's more expensive than basic soil/dirt. Well, this woman started screaming at me. No, there is no such thing. I'm telling you, the soil has been tampered with by terrorists. They want to destroy my crops. My crops are ruined. Queued back and forth for half an hour with this woman, just absolutely losing it on me, demanding that we tear down her entire greenhouse, sift the soil, and rebuild and redo her entire garden. She's absolutely gone bonkers, insisting that terrorists are trying to take over our country, they're trying to kill her by poisoning her food and crops, and that we need to remove this product from the shelves or she's going to the media. Finally, my manager shows up. I had to walk away because I couldn't control the laughing. She yelled at him for another hour before she left, insisting she'd be going to the media. Never heard from her again. Probably the terrorists poisoned her food or something. Sarcasm. The next story is from Dark-Haired Ginger 13. Return my phone, bitch. Call owner. I'm on mobile, so I'm sorry for any errors that may be present. I've worked in retail for 6 years and I've seen and heard so many things. Currently I'm working at a big box store that has an electronics centre. Normally we aren't allowed to touch anyone's devices, but every now and then we will help customers load minutes on their phone or show them how certain things work on their phone. That's basically the most we can do, since we just sell electronics. We aren't required to do anything beyond that. Today I had a customer come to the counter with his brother. They were in their 40s or so. This customer asked me to look at his phone. He said he accidentally fell asleep on it and apparently pressed buttons, so now it's on emergency mode. I was super confused. I'm usually pretty tech savvy, so out of curiosity I had a look at it. The conversation went like this. The customer said, please, I'm a truck driver and I have a long way to go. I can't afford to buy another phone until I get paid. He hands me the phone and I notice it's an Android, some kind of little prepaid smartphone. I flip it over and when the screen comes on, it literally says in big bold letters, bring back my phone, bitch. And under it said, call owner, with the call button lit up green. So I called it and it went to voicemail. Phone number was from Mississippi. I said, I'm sorry sir, there's not much I can do. It's locked down by the owner. The customer very aggressively said, I am the owner. I told you I fell asleep on it and it locked itself. I said, if that's the case, can you put in your password? I swiped the screen to the left to pull up the password screen. It's literally the only way to unlock it. The customer said, I didn't create the password. It shouldn't have a password, yelling at this point. I said, well sir, it seems that the owner locked this phone down, and since you don't have the password, you won't be able to unlock it. If you are the owner, you can go to the service provider and they can help you further. Technically, I'm a sales rep. I'm not qualified to unlock phones, nor am I required to. The customer's brother says, he is the owner, I can call the number right now and the phone will ring. He decides to call a number and nothing happened. At this point, I'm still confused to why they would think a big box store could unlock this phone. I said, give me a second and I can call my manager. He might be able to help you out since he's pretty tech savvy. I radioed the manager to come to the photo counter since electronics is attached to photo, and as soon as they heard that, they ran to the entrance and left the store. I told management what had happened and we were just astonished that they brought in a stolen phone and tried to get me to unlock it. What they didn't know is, I didn't hang up. I left it on voicemail so the owner could hear me and the customer's conversation, and I hope the details I gave out helps him out. Most likely they're going to trash the phone, but you never know. The next story is from Anime Plu. Now you want to buy the camera. I spent an hour helping you yesterday. Too bad. Not my story, but my brother's. My bro used to work for an electronics store a while back. He hated it when customers would come in, talk to him about a certain electronic device for about an hour, only for them to say they'd buy it cheaper somewhere else. It wasted his time and they would lose potential customers this way. One day this older white couple came in and started inquiring about a certain camera. They asked basic questions that could be answered through Google, but my brother continued to help them. They seem to like the camera but don't like the price. The wife said, "But we saw the camera for the same price on Amazon and it came with a bunch of stuff. Can't you give us discounts since it doesn't come with it?" My brother said, "Sorry, but it's already on sale and the system can't make it lower than that." She said, "Then maybe you can give us other stuff for free. Amazon is selling their camera with all this free stuff." The husband pulls the camera up on his phone and shows it to my brother. My brother says that's mostly junk that will break quickly. You can buy off Amazon if you want that stuff, but there's no way we can give you our good stuff for free. She said, "But it would be much easier to get it from you. We really need it for tomorrow. We're hosting an event and we want lots of good photos." The husband says, "Make it a good deal or we'll have to buy from Amazon." My bro went back and forth with them for another 25 minutes about not being able to do anything about the price or give them free stuff. He encouraged them to buy it from Amazon if they liked the deal so much. Eventually the couple just left and said they would buy it from Amazon. At that point my brother didn't care and was happy they were gone. They came back the next day, much to my brother's displeasure. The wife said, "So we checked the reviews and a lot of people said the extra stuff was junk. We'll just buy it here." My brother, trying his best to roll his eyes at them and tell them he told them, just said, "Okay, cool." They go back to the camera area and it's no longer there. My bro checked the store's inventory and stopped himself from grinning. He said, "Oh, sorry, it looks like one of my co-workers sold the last one yesterday." She said, "What? But we really need that camera." To which the husband says, "We need it for tonight. Can't you check if other stores have it?" My bro did and told him that there was only one store who still had it, but it was 45 minutes away. The couple starts panicking. The husband says, "Can't you ask them to hold it for us?" The brother feeling smug at this point. "Sorry, but they don't reserve. It's first come, first serve." My bro said he had never gotten so much satisfaction in seeing a pair of customers leave so quickly. Our next story is from Satire Saturday. Customer decides to call my boss because I won't give her a special deal. I work at what I can only describe as a specialty antique store. The store isn't doing too hot for business and my coworker and I have been in the process of running a 60% off sale to clear out our inventory for a bit now. The story takes place in November-ish. It's a Wednesday and I'm working alone, which is pretty common. The town where I work is a tourist town, so no one really comes in during the week. Just as I was thinking about how dead it was, a woman came in and barged up to the counter. We call her Martha. Martha was an older woman and she dragged along her sister, who we'll call Kate. They approached me and asked me about the product they were looking for, which we didn't have. I informed them we didn't have what they wanted, but we had a few similar items. They decided to look around and each pick out a few things they found interesting. Now, I didn't mention this before, but the price range of the items at the store where I work are really high. The most expensive item we have is $7,000 and the cheapest is about $110, hence the store closure. Well, Martha brought up her items to me and I rang them up. Her total, with 60% off, was well over $1,000. She saw her total and narrowed her eyes at me. Martha said, "That can't be my total. You didn't take 60% off." I said I did and I can show you the receipt. She said, "Re-ring me, I don't believe that number." I was annoyed, but I did what she asked. I re-rang all her items and I got the same total. She gets upset and pulls out a phone calculator and does the math, and her total was less than what I have. She shows me her phone and it's close to what I got, but not quite. I realise she didn't add tax onto her purchase. I explain that there's tax and we add it before we take the percentage off the items, and she argues with me round and round. Finally she gives up and offers her card to me with a huff. But wait, we haven't talked about her sister yet, huh? Martha goes to hand me a card and Kate intercepts, saying, Wait, surely there's something you can do. We spent a lot of money here. Give us a better deal." I didn't even know how to react, honestly. I remember being super surprised, but I said, "Sorry, I can't do that." Kate pushed, "You have to give us a better deal. We've been in before." I again say, "I can't do that. You're getting 60% off as it is. That's enough." Martha was mad now, of course. She tells me I must give them a discount because they know the owner. I'm like, that's definitely BS, but okay. Martha threatens to call my boss and, because my boss is really cool, I said, "Okay, call her then." As expected, Martha didn't have the number right now and asked me for it. I said I wasn't going to give my boss's number out to a stranger, but I'd take Martha's number and let my boss know she wanted to talk. Martha seemed satisfied with that and she left with the number and paid for her goods. I called my boss after she left and told her about the situation. My boss apologised to me for having to deal with Martha and told my co-worker and I not to give her or her sister a discount in the future. Our next story is from Metroid Zoid. I bought a houseplant out of spite, twice. Full disclosure, I have my fair share of plants and I don't need any more. A fact reaffirmed when watering the whole household takes the better part of the afternoon. But the only thing that motivates me more than a passion for horticulture is pure, unadulterated spite. First case, guy calls asking about houseplants. I confirm that's my area, what can I do you for, etc. And wants to know the price for a very specific plant. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Starfish, if you're wondering. Which I tell him, and immediately get a long rebuttal of, no it's not, it's only 1/5 of that price, and you have it in size we didn't have it in. Despite assuring him no, we never have this one that low, and I would gladly check on getting a different size, he keeps cutting me off before I give up. I offer to hold the last one we have for him, through the afternoon, to see if he likes it. He tells me, don't bother, you don't know which plant you're talking about, I'm coming down there later, and I'll find it, and get this sorted out. Click. Well, okay then, I flag my co-worker, say I'm going on my break, and oh yeah, buying this plant. Last I heard, he begrudgingly accepted a 2-week waiting period until we could get more in, at a larger size and higher markup. Second case happened today. We're very short staffed and doing our darnest to keep folks happy and get them their lawn and garden questions answered. In the middle of juggling the phones and a line several people deep, a lady walks up with a lovely, variegated African violet I had my eyes on prior, and says, I need to ask you a favour. I think, oh, this is about how to take care of this little beaut, or what houseplants would work in her house, etc. Nope, she whips out several Ziploc bags of change and says, I went through my husband's jackets and found these. Can you count it out for me and tell me how much I have? I politely apologise and says, I don't have time, and she insists, and once again I tell her I cannot do that at this time, but if she'd like, I'd happy to be set aside the plant while she figures out her change. She gives me a minute-long silent glare before saying, you know what, I don't want any of this then. This was literally the one plant, and I tell her, a bit too cheerfully, no problem, I'd be glad to put that back on the shelf. But I didn't. I finished up on the line and thought, this plant deserves a better home, just in case she comes back, and bought it on my next break. Variegated violets aren't exactly rare, but they come across our shelves infrequently enough that I was content. And now my boyfriend is asking, was it all worth it? And to that I say, yes. Yes it was. Oh god. I wonder if sort of all the plants that she's bought is just out of sort of spite. Just imagine her house being like a jungle. Anyway guys, I'd love to know your thoughts on these stories. What was your favourite of today's bunch? My favourite has to be, it's got to be the soil being taken over by terrorists. Of all the things they're doing, they're targeting our bags of soil now. If you made it this far into today's stories, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And don't forget to include in your comment, my crops are ruined. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate the time out your day you take to just watch these. It really makes a big difference. If you do have a moment, would you please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell, as it will further help me as well. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Much love now.